perfect hire. What is the perfect hire for you, your company, your situation? We're going to unpack that today. Remember to go to geniusloanofficer.com if you want to increase your business. Being a loan officer, you're out there, you're trying to increase your business, and you're doing it the hard way, working too many hours. Listen, we want to help you be an LEO of your business, which is going from a loan officer to a CEO of your business, operating that way, taking charge, taking action, and absolutely loving life. So go to geniusloanofficer.com if you want to have a conversation. Listen, we don't know if we can help you yet, but we may be able to. And the good news is that after the call, you will know either, hey, that's one more way not to, one more place I don't want to use, or it could be absolutely, hey, this is a great fit for me. We want to make sure that you are fed on the call and taken care of. So anyway, what is the correct hire? What is correct hire? What's the perfect hire? Well, maybe no such thing as perfect hire, correct? But there could be ways to, figure out what is a really good hire for you. And so that's a question I'm asked all the time in coaching with the loan officers we coach now on our questions. People I've coached over the years, who should I hire? What's a traits they should have, et cetera, et cetera. And oftentimes people really lean one way or the other. Some people will say, hey, it's all about the attitude. Or some people will say, hey, they have to have the correct qualifications. Well, I would say that, and I was just had this conversation probably about a week ago. Somebody said the exact same thing. It's all about the attitude. You can train up for the rest. Kind of is what I would say. It's attitude plus aptitude. And what is aptitude? Aptitude is someone that is, has that skill set that you're looking for, that they are naturally wanting to do the things that you're going to require from them, that they have that just the natural ability, that is their zone of genius. So a lot of times we want to hire somebody, well, their attitude is really great, so we can just train them up for the rest. And that can be a very, very lonely road at some point, because all of a sudden you're in turnover. Somebody might come in with a really great attitude. They do have a great attitude, and that can get you a lot of places. We know that you can overcome a lot of deficiencies by having a great attitude. But what about the longevity of someone feeling great about their job, feeling this is going into their life mission, this is an embodiment of who they are, etc. What I'll say is that there's typically about 6 months to see whether someone's a fit on their aptitude. A lot of times, if they have a great attitude. If you have a bad attitude, a month in, 2 weeks in, sometimes 2 days in, 1 day in, you're like, oh my goodness, this is a wrong hire. All they're doing is just pushing back on everything. You can tell they don't really want to work. They didn't come in prepared to really have the attitude they're going to need to succeed. And we're going to know that really early on. But what I'll say is that if they don't have the aptitude, there's a 6 month, maturation process to know whether their aptitude is there. And it's a lot of times just after the 6 month is when you understand, I got the right hire, I don't have the right hire. Because a lot of people can fake it up to 6 months. And that doesn't mean they're faking it as they're being a bad person. Doesn't mean they're faking it as, they try to dupe you. They may think of themselves as, hey, I'm organized, but then their natural state is not organized. First of all, have you ever met anybody, you probably have, but how many out of 10, if you ask 10 people, are you organized? Are you you a systems person? Do you like to be really organized at your office, in your job functions? I would say you're probably going to get 8 or 9 people say yes. Yeah, I am. But do we really think 8 or 9 people are organized? No, absolutely not. They may think of themselves as, hey, I'm organized. But then when you look at it, like, yeah, they don't have, the desk is not like a complete disaster, which is something that you should look out for. If you go somewhere and somebody's office is completely a disaster, then they're probably not organized, but maybe they have organized chaos. But you'll notice that 8 or 9 people saying yes, but only probably, maybe 3 or 4 of those may be really organized, may be systematic about how they approach their business. And so you as a salesperson, you as a loan officer, you as a owner, typically you're not the most organized, like systemized person in the world. Doesn't mean you may have worked at it over time and you kind of have some organization, and maybe you are someone that has leveled up a lot on what the systems they use and how they go approach their day, but that may not be your natural state. And you as a business owner, as a loan officer, as an LEO, you have such a heightened awareness of what needs to be done and how things need to look. And that's your business. So you're going to try to overcome all obstacles and do really well, which is a blessing and a curse, because the blessing is obviously you just get stuff done, and you're doing really well, and you're doing more loans, you're slinging more deals, you're getting more partnerships, and you're still taking care of people. The drawback of that is you end up somehow along the way thinking you're better at some of those systems and organization than what you think you are. And it's wearing you down, right? It's just wearing you down because that's not what your baseline is. That's not who you are really. You've overcome that. You have such a just a laser-like focus to get stuff done that you're doing it. Meanwhile, you're kind of dying inside. So there's a drawback. But when you're hiring someone, like, they're going to have some of those natural traits. Realize that is not if you bring somebody in, that is not their baby. That is not, they don't have the same type of ownership as you do, because you may own the company if you're running a brokerage, or you're running that team, and that's you own that. You own the partnerships, everything else, and you can bring somebody in and they pretty much do, but there's still just that extra level of, hey, listen, I'm the one running the ship. I got to make sure that I do all those things. Well, when somebody else comes in, you have somebody come in that is working for you. They're not going to have that, generally speaking, right? Because they may be really dedicated, and they are an entrepreneur, which we want to have on our team. Someone that wants to take your business and develop it and make it better. And they have true partnership with you, but you still have that extra step, just a little bit extra step, because it's your baby. But if you bring on the wrong person with the wrong aptitude, and they have a really great attitude, that attitude can get them through 6 months of doing a really excellent job for you. But after 6 months, and that's what I've seen to be true and heard be true in other people, and actually said, how long has someone been there? And they're like, 8 months. When did the problem start? When did their details start falling off? Like 2 months ago. I've heard that over and over, and I've had it with my own experience. The ones that really got bad attitude, or not great attitude, or not just the the servant attitude, they may not take as long, but the ones with a really good attitude, that's where we want to talk about, is that's the big miss. Is you bring somebody in, the attitude is great, they're doing well, and all of a sudden you're wondering in month 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like, man, there's missing more stuff. They didn't get that from the bar where they should have. Oh my gosh, is this deal going to go through now, or is it going to close on time because like they missed these documents? Well, and then you trace it back. Oh my gosh, it was around the 6-month mark. Well, then was the aptitude there? So how do we know about the aptitude? Well, a couple things. I mean, I would always tell you, if you can do a DISC assessment, see what their natural states are. Are they, and what you're looking for, depending on the position, but let's just say you're looking for someone to do a lot of admin work, you're going to want a high S&C. You're going to want somebody that's system oriented, they're detail oriented. And, but if you want somebody also making calls and having some of those conversations, you don't want the I, which is their really their love for interacting with people. You don't want it to be a 2 out of 100, because they're not going to want to talk to anybody. But you're going to want to have a high S&C, and as that, they a systems oriented type of person. If you bring them in and they are someone like myself, I'm a 99 DNI, like high DNI. I'll run through the walls. I'll talk to who I need to talk to get stuff done. That's what, salespeople do. That's what leaders do. A lot of times that's how we act. A lot of them are high on the DNI scale. Not all of them. I'm not saying every single person, but most people are. If you're running and doing a lot of loans, you may be a high DNI. So if you're a high DNI, think about how much you love paperwork, like how much you love systems, how much you love just organizations in general. And if you have someone like myself, if I come in, if you put me in a position of an assistant, there's a couple things that's going to happen here. One, I'm going to do everything I can because that's who I am. I'm going to make stuff happen for you. I'm going to push through barriers. But about 6 months in, like, the little release is going to happen. You're right, because I'm getting a little wore down. Months after month after month, week after week, like I'm doing things I don't want to do. And it's just, the wheels start to come off just a little bit. Could I still be manageable and do okay for you? Yes. But is there probably a better person for that position than me? Absolutely. 100%. There's absolutely a better person, better fit for that position than me as your admin, as your processor, or whatever, your loan officer assistant, whatever you want to call them. There's going to be better than me for certain, 100%, all day, every day. And it's not going to be that hard to find somebody better than me for that position. Honestly, it's not. Even though I got the right attitude, I'm going to run through walls, I'm going to work my butt off. It's just not the right position for me. The second thing is, if me being a high DNI, I'm probably going to leave your butt a lot earlier. I'm going to figure out, wait, you're making how much money to do that? And here's what you do. And here's how to get more business. I'm not going to stay in that position for that long, right? I'm not going to, because I know that I can make more money. I know that I can use my high DNI, my decisive nature, my interactive, spirit and salesmanship and everything else to make a lot more money. And I'm going to go out on my own. So if you're looking for someone to get in your staple to help you run your business, you want to add people that have the mission that aligns with what you're trying to accomplish. So I want to make sure that I also make this point with you. I'm not saying hold anybody back. This is a problem that people make all the time. is they're like, oh my gosh, like I don't want this person to take my job, so I'm going to hold back, or I'm not going to hire the best person available. You are hiring the best absolute person available. They're going to be better than you at so many things. If you hire what we call as a battleship commander and genius loan officer, that's just like, they're the ones like taking over the business for you pretty much, and they're running the ship. They're the ones that are the great badass entrepreneur. They're going to be better than you at so many things, and you're going to coach them up and train them up and give all your knowledge, all your skills that you can to hopefully make them the absolute greatest thing since sliced bread in your company. So you want to give and give abundantly and not hold back and go, oh my goodness, like if I don't give them all this, they can take my business. But you're hiring the right people for the right spots. So it's a beautiful thing if you do hire the right person for the right spot, and you give them everything you have. Like you give them all your the knowledge, all the wisdom, all the business acumen, whatever you got to give them, you're giving them all that. Then they're just going to blossom, and it's going to be hard pressed for them to leave, because you're going to grow your business. They're going to be able to make good money. But more importantly, they're going to feel fed. They're going to feel their life mission is completed or is on track, which is something you'll want to do. Is like, what's your life mission? Talk about that. Constantly talk about that. Continue to go back to it. But if you figure out the person with the right attitude and aptitude, that's what they naturally like to do, and you pour everything you can into them, that's someone that can stay with you for a long time, elevate your business. And I tell you, you're not going to have to worry about those crazy burnouts if you treat them right. You're going to have to worry about the burnouts with the people that naturally just are not, really, that's not their natural state. I'm going to burn out if you tell me to do all that stuff. I burn out now if you talk about, okay, well, Adam, figure out this this computer program. Oh my gosh, I'm over there like, this is horrible. Like if I had to do it for a job and that was a requirement, I would get it done. Man, I'd be wore out. It would suck, and right? So I'm probably not going to be there long. I'm probably going to find something else. If I am there, other details are going to fall off again. So it's how fluid we are in our business. So like, that's where, again, you have to understand people are better than you at so many things. And then you have those couple things, maybe one or two things that you're great at. That's the reason you have great leadership qualities. And I'll tell you, like, if you're trying to be a great loan officer as an LEO of your business, you got to be a leader. You got to lead yourself. And part of that leadership is hiring the right people, nurturing them, giving abundantly to them. And I tell you what, even if they do leave, and I had someone leave me not long ago, my marketing assistant, she's excellent. She helped me with a lot of stuff in my hires coaching when I was doing hires coaching, which I still do some consults off as well, just through hires coaching, but through Genius Loan Officer, ramping that up. She's done an excellent job. I've gave to her abundantly, and she's grown so much. And she took another position, and she called me, and you could feel and hear the trepidation in her voice. And I was like, what's going on? And she told me she was going somewhere else. And the first thing I said was, congratulations. That is awesome, Kristen. That is amazing. Tell me about it. And she told me about it, and it's a great gig. And it's just, she has someone that's a friend that has had just a perfect position for her, paying her more money, all that, which is great. She was evolving into a role where she could at some point make those kinds of numbers, but she's making that now, and that's good. And it was a it was good for her to take that position. I was genuinely happy for her. And that's what you should be, because we want to not hold anybody back. If somebody's got a position that is beneficial to them and they take it, I'm not saying just give up and say, okay, never mind, see you later. But if it makes sense, does it make sense for them? And be happy for them and give abundantly to them. And so she grew, and she sent me my favorite cigars. It was amazing. She sent me my favorite cigars. I only said my favorite cigars probably one time. It's a Monte Cristo 1935 box pressed. They're limited edition. They're fabulous. I love them. So she sent those to me, which was great because, again, it was care, and sends me a note and thanks me for everything and how I invested in her. I tell you what, that just warms my spirit, because that's what I love. And I love her to death. I think she's just a beautiful, beautiful person. She's going to be very successful. And that's what you want out of your people. You want them to be successful. And I hope this resonates with you and you feel the same way. Like, if somebody leaves, like, they're better off for working for you. That's what you should feel like. So give abundantly. Hire someone for aptitude or attitude and aptitude. Talk about their life mission. Does it add up? There's so many more things we can go through, but those are like off the bat. Like, those are two right off the bat to think about. So we can definitely deep dive a lot more in. We do in Genius Loan Officer. We go through on this path because hiring is a huge thing, and leadership is influential. Leadership is, I tell you what, that's where real magic happens. But we're not going to go through all that. But the aptitude is huge. So I'll tell you two different cases. So I'll talk about two different cases that how this, also showed up in my business. So I hired a person a few years back, and she came in and she did really well. I remember going to walk past her door, and I heard her saying no to the underwriter. No, we're not going to push this back. That's not how we do business. We're going to close this deal. This is about 2 to 3 months in working for me. And I was like, heck yeah, I got the right person. Because she was like caring. She was trying to get stuff done. We're closing a lot of deals. Awesome. Well, about 4-5 months after that fact, stuff started slipping. There was misses. There was, documents that should have been collected. Missteps. And it was all around that 6-month mark. So it's not that she is not a good person. It's not that she didn't care, but it was wearing her out to be that organized and disciplined. It just wasn't in full trait. It wasn't really her aptitude. Okay. And that's okay. It's just a good person. Great. Obviously I had to move on from her. And then I remember, a few years back, about a year and a half ago, I was thinking about hiring. There's 2 different candidates. And I remember speaking to one candidate for like a junior loan officer position. And so I got her disc. She was in somewhere around the 70s on a DNI. She's dynamic. She's great. My thought process on that was 2 things. One, the aptitude, really, I don't know that's going to be there long term, because, that's not really, she's trying to be detail oriented and all that. Is that really what I need in that position? Because yeah, she's going to give me some things on the front end where she can make decisions a little quicker than somebody else maybe, and talk to people, and they're going to like her. But like, how long is that relationship going to last? really 3 months, 6 months? Is that really what I want for my business? And so I said, that's not what I need my business to somebody come in 6 months and then boom, they're just gone. So again, we want to give it abundantly, but we also want to be smart about like who we hire in the positions we're hiring. Are they going to stay? Was I correct? Well, she was not a mortgage in the mortgage business. Like she worked for a housing authority, but she was not in the mortgage business. She ended up going to another mortgage company as a junior loan officer. And within like 3 to 4 months, guess what? She's a loan officer. So that's great. I'm happy for her. Hope she does amazing. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. I don't want anything to come across like, man, that's amazing. I hope she does awesome. But was she the right person for the role I had? And the answer is no, because the fact is maybe she stays a little bit longer because I'm coaching up more. But like, would I be holding her back because that's really her natural state is to want to be the entrepreneur, to be the loan officer, be the LEO of her business? It would be wrong for me to hold somebody back. I don't want to hold anybody back. That's what they really want to do. So it just wasn't right, fit, because I would train her up, boom, she'd be gone. It didn't really give me any traction. And it just, where she went, hopefully she was up front and said, hey, in 3 months or whatever, I'm going to go on my own. And that's a different setup. And that's a good setup for both parties. So it's got to be mutually, acceptable for both to be a good fit, right? So remember, just hire who is really a good fit. And what I'll say is a perfect hire, you're going to make mistakes on hiring. Even on an example of like who I've hired that maybe wasn't the best fit, I got a lot of traction. I did a lot more deals because of that. I reduced my hours. I learned a lot of things. My hires subsequently were better, or were also, I was able to like coach them up differently. I was able to feed them, with better information, knowledge, wisdom, and abundance than I was before. So don't completely just wait for that perfect hire, because you may end up finding a great hire now that may end up being a great fit. But if they're not, if you're doing a really good job of training up, of loving on them, appreciating them, being a true leader, you're going to get a lot of traction out of them. And then maybe they're just better for the next gig. You mutually part, and you have somebody else that's a true benefit to the max for them and your company and yourself. So just make sure that you go out there and don't wait too long to hire. Do not wait too long to hire. Everybody does. And remember, when you're thinking about, hey man, that's going to cost me 40 grand a year, 60 grand a year, whatever position you put in place. I'm just throwing numbers out there. But don't think like that. Think of how much does it cost per week, or how much it costs per month, because you don't know how long that's going to last. And and how much is your dollars per hour worth now? And if they're worth $500 an hour now, when you're trying to get new deals, then just know, hey, if I do those activities, it's going to pay for itself. Don't wait too long to hire. Hire for attitude, aptitude, a lot of other stuff out there. Know their life's mission, what they're trying to accomplish, and absolutely give abundantly to them and watch yourself grow. Remember, limited risk equals limited income.